What's up, guys? Kalin here with Kalin Writes. It's a beautiful Friday, and I have a absurd story for you. This is from CNN. I have found a report that says North Carolina's town of Kinley has had its entire police department quit after it has hired a black city manager. I am just kind of blown away by this. It says the mass exodus of an entire police department after the hiring of a black city manager in North Carolina has opened a conversation about public safety and race relations in a small town of just over 1,500 people. So Justine Jones is the new selected city manager there. Apparently, the police officers have cited that her presence has made for a hostile work environment. Now, as far as I understand, she hasn't been there long. She started as Kinley's town manager on June 2nd. So June, July, we're getting into August here, so maybe 2 months. According to an announcement from the town, she was unanimously approved by the council and touted 16 years of experience. And she's worked in a variety of roles. I believe she has helped manage various size budgets. Budgets as small as $5,000 up to $61 million. So she's very capable at what she's doing. The residents are split on whether it's a race issue. I think it's pretty clear that if an entire all-white police force quits, and I'm assuming they're all white, the police chief was a white guy named Josh Gibson, and he has written a letter saying that her addition to the city staff has made their jobs very difficult, and he feels unsafe. Now, he also had a lot of other letters written by other members of the police force, so he isn't the only one. Obviously, the entire force resigned. Of course, a lot of residents are worried and concerned that there's not going to be much safety as a result of the fact that all of these police officers quit. Denise Bennett is a Kinley native, and she has said that the timing of everything makes her suspicious, adding that the situation seems to be more about power rather than resolving work-related issues. There's a lot of different ways that you can handle a bad boss if Justine Jones is really that bad of a city manager. Quitting, or at least inciting the whole police force to quit, is probably not the best way to handle that situation. If that's an issue, you can file complaints, you can get petitions signed and get this person removed. If you have actual proof that she's doing a bad job, if she's somehow being negligent in her role or really creating a hostile work environment, it would be very easy to get rid of her. But he hasn't. Josh Gibson, the former police chief, has not said that she has done anything wrong. He just says the work environment is unfavorable for him and other staff. Let's see here. It says, I've never had any personal problems with Police Chief Josh Gibson, but as a former employee of the town, I know how it works there, said Dawes. Michelle Dawes is from Kinley, and she used to work for the town, and she told CNN that the situation was complicated. She said, I immediately knew this is someone new. She doesn't know what the off-the-books rules are. Basically, she came in and got hired, and she poked the bear by making him accountable. So what seems to be the case is that Justine Jones is a black woman. She has been making white men uncomfortable in their positions of power because they don't want to work for her. And she's probably pressed them to handle some issues that pertain to race and to maybe reimagine or rethink the way that they deal with the city's minority residents or black residents. That's assuming that the residents there are all a minority of black people. I don't know. They say the town only has 1,500 people, so I don't know what the demographics are, but she probably is instituting and implementing changes that are not favorable to white men that run that police force. And so they're hating on her for all intents and purposes. And it's just ridiculous. I never thought that an entire police force would resign over the hiring of a black woman. I mean, it's 2022. You know, like, either she's just horrible, like the worst boss, or she's shaking some things up, you know? Now, without having all the details about what she is implementing, no one can really speak on that. I'll just say I've never seen a mass exodus of police. This is like some 1940s deep South racism. That's what this is reminiscent of. I think it's crazy. It actually says in the CNN article, studies show people in organizations often think black women are more likely to have angry personalities, with studies also suggesting that negative perception is a unique occurrence for black women. This is according to the Harvard Business Review. Let me see. Is the Harvard Business Review from Harvard? I would imagine it is. Okay, so yes, the Harvard Business Publishing was founded in 1994 as a not-for-profit, wholly owned subsidiary of Harvard University. So when I hear that the Harvard Business Review has this report that says black women in organizations are likely to be more angry, and that the perception that they are more angry is a unique occurrence that pertains mainly to black women, it doesn't surprise me, because Harvard has a long tradition of racism towards both black students and black professors. There was a recent hiring of a black official. Noah Harris is the first black man elected to serve as Harvard student body president, and I think that this was after 384 years. Harvard hired its first black dean of students just recently, Stephen Ball. So it doesn't surprise me that Harvard would find somehow that black women are perceived as more angry. I would like to know who they're interviewing, who they're polling to get these results. And I think it's funny that CNN even threw that in there. I just think this is a situation where racism is large and apparent, and it's stupid, it's silly. Of course, things like this on different levels are happening all over the place, but in the South, with the South's history of racism being what it is, this is to be expected. It's still mind-blowing that an entire police department could quit. I don't know how many people are on this police department staff, but I just think it's pretty insane, and it's such a cop-out. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the recent Kinley, North Carolina Police Department mass resignation after the hiring of a new city manager, Justine Jones, a black woman. Tell me what you think in the comments. We will see how this situation further develops. Peace.